Hi, my name is Maxime Simon and I am a sales engineer here at Snowflake in France. Today we are going to see how to interact with an external services through Snowflake. In order to call external services from Snowflake, you can use Snowpark Python with external network access. However, you have to be careful of security, not to let data leak out of Snowflake. In order to achieve that, we have several guardrails. First, you have to create what we call a network rule to represent external locations to which you can egress data. In this case, the network rule is called Google APIs and allows me to send data to translation.googleapis.com. You can then create a security integration to store credential, in this case for auth authentication. Then you store a secret to represent these credentials so that they can be used in an external access integration and furthermore in functions and procedure. The external access integration represents the network rules as well as the secrets, and it is being called when you create a function or a procedure, in this case Google Translate Python, which will take as input a sentence and a language, and then based on the external access integration and the credentials that we defined before, this function will send a request to the Google API for translation and a target language. In the example here, select Google Translate Python. It translates Happy Thursday in Chinese. And you can see the results in Chinese. Now let's see external access in action. In this example, we will create a network rule called OpenAI GPT, which allows for egress to api.openai.com. And we will integrate OpenAI with Snowflake to have a case of sentiment analysis. We create a secret which contains my API key for OpenAI, and then we create an external access integration called OpenAI integration with the network rules and the secret. We can then use it in a function. The function is called OpenAI GPT. It takes a pre-prompt and a sentence. Both will be sent to the ChatGPT API. It's a Python function. In this case, the handler is request_GPT, and I'm defining here the external access integration, which I created just before. I use requests to send HTTP requests in Python, and I define here the credentials which I just created. The call of the function itself is very easy. I define one function with the pre-prompt and the sentence. I get the API key which is necessary to send data to OpenAI. Then the URL is defined as an endpoint. I define my headers and I define the prompt, which is the pre-prompt plus the sentence itself. Then the response object is created as a post to the OpenAI API, and I just parse the response as a JSON and I take the content of the message. It's the whole function. Let's test it with a few reviews from TripAdvisor. So now that we have these reviews for different titles on TripAdvisor, we have a different number of reviews, we have categories, and we have the comment itself in plain text. We will use this new function to perform sentiment analysis on the reviews and try to gather insight on the popularity of the different categories. So I will now create a new table called OpenAI Sentiment Analysis as the category, the comment review, and the call to the OpenAI, which will give me a sentiment analysis on the text after the tag end. And I define that I want a sentiment analysis between highly negative, negative, positive, highly positive. And then I just feed in the comment. So this is why I have a pre-prompt, and the prompt itself is the comment. So calling this function after a few seconds comes back with the results from OpenAI. Now I can type in a select, in this case select top 50 of everything from my table. And I get the different categories, the different comments, and the sentiment of the comment. In this case, positive, neutral. For the Chinese one, the prawn starter is a neutral sentiment. I get positive sentiment I get a well worth a visit, a good experience for dinner is positive, love this place is highly positive, as well as best paella outside of Spain is highly positive. And you get a sentiment analysis that was done through ChatGPT. Obviously, you can aggregate these results afterwards. So for example, for every category, what is the overall sentiment and the count, and you can then define which of your categories were the most successful. For example, bar pub as neutral here, or Italian pizza as 4 positive reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing your use cases for external access.